into oceans of awareness. Today I'm going to talk about soul reincarnation, recycling stations, things like this. So basically, in this version of Earth, there has been souls that have been trapped here and trapped in a reincarnation cycle where they keep coming back. This has to do with technology that was put in place a very long time ago. Times and dates I'm not savvy on necessarily. I'm not so sure actually, where a lot of the text, a lot of the ancient texts we have today are 20% truth and 80% lies, and the truth in them is what draws so many people to them. So everybody needs to discern when researching, doesn't matter what it is, for themselves, and obviously go with the information that speaks to you. That's not really information, it's you already know. It's simply a reminder, and it helps you break through the amnesia of the technology, or the technology's effects. When you're born here, you pass through this field, and the majority of your conscious memories are wiped. However, these are stored in your DNA as well, and they're with your soul blueprint. So with the reincarnation cycle, a lot of souls have been trapped here since the invasion occurred, and basically with each lifetime, if they don't evolve their consciousness, if they don't wake up each lifetime, a little bit more of their soul essence is siphoned off them, and they have a little bit less to work with each time they come back, unless they awaken. And then, obviously go through a lot of stuff when you awaken. And there are dark forces who, it's literally what they're programmed to do is to stop you from awakening. And if you are awakening, then to get you as far off that path as possible, because that path leads to becoming aware of these forces and what they've been doing to the human race, in regards to the hybridization programs, the Anunnaki hybridization program, for example. When all of this went down, and you can say the planet, from what I can tell with access to the universal template, is that the whole universe fell in frequency due to wars and the sheer loss of life that occurred due to those wars. As a result of wars that went down, were entire races who were through their existence and the technologies that they had created back then were acted as a, like a protection against dark forces, essentially. But there really wasn't a threat in this quadrant, in this universe at the time, and if there was no wars at that time. Basically, during the destruction of certain worlds, including a former Earth, a former version of Earth, because this isn't the only seeding of the human race, as many of you will know through your own research into ancient history, going beyond the known history that we're all being fed by the matrix control system that is controlled by hyperdimensional beings. And so basically some souls have been trapped within the dark grid works and weren't able to ascend or evolve to the next world, to their next dimension, however you want to look at it. And this was a natural part of what the Earth was, like a school, right? And you'd come here to train and evolve your soul and then move on to the next place. And there was a bridge. There are bridges to the next places, at least they were, but with the worlds being destroyed, the bridges, it was a bridge to nowhere. So with the matrix control system grid being put up, no one could get out. But souls could always get in. But the risk was that, and for those souls, these are advanced souls, or ones that are willing to take the risk because of what you can learn when you come here, and have the human experience where you can learn about emotions. Love is a big one. It's a huge part of the original human templates coding. So many souls have been trapped here and in reincarnation cycles. I have written about this years ago now, and I shared it on Facebook. And basically, I had quite a lot of triggered reactions, and at that point I hadn't really done a lot of shadow work. I was sort of just coming to realize all of this at the time, so, and getting used to the idea of when you're triggered, you internalize it rather than project it onto somebody. If somebody makes you angry, the auto reaction there is to fire back, right, or defend yourself or something like that, which is actually what that does, is it takes you away from what's actually been triggered. And so if you don't work on that trigger, it will get triggered yet again. But if you do work on that trigger, whatever it is, you no longer can be triggered around whatever it is. And so that, in a sense, is a way of evolving. That is one way to level up. And so the ability to level up here and evolve naturally, as somebody who has been trapped in cycles here, has, because things have changed, it being a new paradigm, energies that we've got going on now. And I will share about that as well, about my own experience. It's not just some concept that I picked up from, Eckhart Tolle or Tolle, or however you pronounce it, and him talking about the new earth. it's actually something that I felt with Dark Good Works going down at the end of 2019. So I'll actually felt it, and then went through some pretty wild stuff to break through and be out into the new paradigm myself on an internal, as a like an internal approach, because it needs to happen. It needs to happen that way, basically, for people. So going back to what I was talking about. Soul essence, okay. You need that to be able to ascend, evolve. You need it. If too much has been drained out of you from the experiences that you've had, the people that you've been around, you're going to find it hard to shift. It's going to be difficult to shift because you've got a lot of stuff there that you need to work through. The more shit you go through, the more stuff that you have to work through. And if you don't know about shadow work, even getting to the period of, mid-20s to 30s, that is a lot of stuff to deal with. I'm not saying you can't do it, and especially right now you can, because we have the ability to rapidly, we have quantum leaps and timeline jumps. We can just go bang. You need a certain amount of essence of fire inside to do that. So basically you have a certain amount of essence, okay, in these conditions here. In the bodiless form, it's different. It's eternal. Okay. And the original human template had that going for it. From what I can gather from memories that I've had, was that we didn't need to eat food to sustain ourselves. We used energy to sustain ourselves. We didn't have a menstruation cycle like we do here. The density was lighter, it was more ethereal, which is how we created and built structures and life forms, from drawing energy out of the ethers from Great Spirit, combined with our own inner where we were able to create things, along with, as far as I know, some technologies that were related to crystals and sound wave, sound energy, sound, yeah. So basically the human race had been trapped here. If you were an advanced graduate soul who hasn't been trapped here, so basically you couldn't get out, but we could come in. And the risk, not remembering who you are and all of that is all part of the basically all part of the deal. And this before coming in as a graduate soul, as an ancient soul, okay? Everybody knew the risks before coming here. There's different levels of consciousness and soul consciousness, right? There's like new souls who, they have, it's they're very pure. They have a lot to learn, and so basically you can view it as a school, as a way to transmute it, that we come here to learn and advance to our next level of consciousness while alive, but also after death. You have more options, and a conscious death is absolutely the way to go. I do feel like they have learnt a way to ensnare souls to keep coming back here, and that's by having a false light in the astral realm, which is kind of a place you actually pass through. You're meant to pass through before going to wherever it is you're going. And I suppose in thinking about it, it is a rare thing to know where one is going, because who remembers the afterlife? I've had a experience of that, which I'll probably share in a separate upload. And yeah, I can tell you there was something unnatural about this light. There was something unnatural about it. But it was like you couldn't look away from it either. So, the wheel of samsara, right? You can look that up. Wheel of time. There's not really a lot more that's coming up about it for me. I feel like the rules have changed, and it's possible to not come back here, and if that's what you want. And basically one way I've been told by higher dimensional or higher forces is that you have to have no attachment to the earthly realm. Love it, but have absolute love this place and love people, but you can't have any attachments. And attachments can be it can come in many different forms. If you resent something, if you hate something, it's an attachment, So that can't be your reason for not wanting to come back. If you really go into looking at attachments, and I recommend the Zen and Tao way of looking at things in regards to attachment and letting go, which is an art form. It's an art form. There can be no attachments. If you're attached to something here, you end up being stuck in the in-between, which is basically the astral realm, limbo, purgatory. It's sort of between this world and the spirit world, but there is another place through that. You see, because the astral can actually be just a thin veil, and you can just pass through it like a sheet. But if you go into it, it turns into a whole realm. So it's about passing through, but many people, that's why we have so many ghosts, become very attached to their family members, to their houses, to certain objects, which is why you see, and hear about all the ghost stories, and that's just with discarnate you know, human ghosts. We've got a lot more going on here. So a place of non-attachment is important, but whilst you're alive, it's really also really important to be here and to be present. So you're not disassociating, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, it's a tricky place that we've got here. So that's pretty much what I have to say about that. I have had visions of a type of machinery existing that somehow is redirecting souls away from going where they, you know, naturally are meant to go. I have seen visions of that. So whether that technology is still in play right now, I'm not so sure. I don't feel like it is. I feel like all their systems are failing and will continue to, because it's all connected to the great work that we're all participating in right now, healing ourselves, awakening, you know, helping others to awaken. But it's not like the way that has shifted is that trying to wake people up is, and preaching and things like this is not the way. It's just being who you naturally are, your authentic self, causes people to awaken to the positives and the negatives when we're dealing with duality here. If you have transcended duality, and shadow work is one way to do that, you'll stand out. And other people becoming aware and awakening just by you being you is the way to go. There was a lot of trying to force people, and it never really worked. And you know, it was just a bit of a distraction, really. You know, when I think about all the fucking arguing that I've done with people, and a lot of them were paid shills and trolls, and people who just weren't ready. They weren't ready to be unplugged. It's a different story now. People are actually, from what I've seen, a lot of people are seeking right now, because what's going on in the media especially is like, it's causing them to question, you know. And the thing about it is, you've got to be more than just a little bit curious. You have got to have a hunger, a thirst for the truth. The old going along the surface thing isn't gonna get you to where you know, where you need to go, to the core of things. And it's interesting that people talk about a solar flash event. I kind of wonder what that would do to many people, to everyone awakening all at once, to everything to everything suddenly becoming transparent. I'm not saying it's not possible, I'm just saying don't wait. Don't wait for it. Don't wait for divine intervention. Don't wait for some hero, saviour. We can't wait. You'll fall behind. And may not get back up, you know what I mean? You can kind of go either way and very quickly, and it's sort of difficult to come back from, you know. I'm not saying you can't. I believe anything's possible. I really do. I feel it. I've seen it. I've seen far too many miracles occur to not feel that, to not know that we are, our potential is limitless. And I suppose we can't really talk about this subject without mentioning soulless beings. Very tricky subject with that one. I feel the majority of soulless beings are just those who are disconnected from their soul and the spiritual realm, the unseen realms. I feel like that disconnect has them behaving like soulless drones, like they're not individuals because they haven't tapped into their own soul. And each soul is unique. And so I feel, many of them have souls, but they're not connected to their souls. And then there are soulless, Again, I still feel like there has to be some soul essence to run a body here. I've always felt that. But with technology being what it is, I'm not really sure I can stand by that, because I've, seen some dark ones in human form. Which also brings me to dark ones who've been on the dark path, choosing to reincarnate and choosing the light, converting from dark to light through reincarnation here. And I've seen and felt many convert to the light. And I've seen many convert and take the dark road. I myself have had to consciously choose the light when I was presented with certain choices, difficult, very painful situations, and I felt that I had the ability to create a whole new life for myself, or just create, which would be light, or completely, absolutely, totally destroy and take the dark road, right? And I've been asked by higher forces and been informed. They just said and showed me, you do understand what it means to take this path, to walk this path, to choose this path. and also showed me what it meant to, if I was to take the dark path, like I was able to see ahead of time. I made my choice, and I'll stick by it for the rest of my life here in this body. I myself, and I'll go into this in a different upload, but I'm not from here. I'm from outside. I'm from somewhere where the inversion, I've been calling it, and the distortion hadn't touched. But I do remember the destruction, and I do remember the wars, and I do remember planets being destroyed, and I do remember going through a black hole to get out, and basically into a different universe where the inversion hadn't touched. And I remember answering a call for help to come back at a specific time when we were able to do so, and I remember not being alone. I remember there was a whole family of us, a whole tribe, and we all came at the same time, you know. So I feel there may be more that comes up, and I hope I've answered my subscriber's question. And if anyone else has any other questions in regards to this or anything really, feel free to drop it in the comment box below. Thank you for tuning in, and hello, and thank you to all my new subscribers as well. Welcome. Even though this channel is, you know, I've been doing it for a few months, I feel like that I'm really just now getting started, and gonna get into some fun stuff shortly with the video and graphics. And I love doing video editing. I've been teaching myself that, and I've also been making music, which I'd like to put with my videos. So I love being creative, and I definitely want to include that in my videos. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to what's to come and going deeper into these topics with everybody. So yeah, if you do have a question, feel free to drop it, and if I know, then I'll answer. If I don't know, I'll just say that I have no idea. So yeah, thank you for tuning in here, and liking, subbing, sharing, and getting this info out to people if you feel it's they're ready for it and will resonate with it. Yeah, so I'll see you again soon. Bye.